Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Perth East Council. This third day of March, I'd like to call our meeting to order. If everyone could please bow their head for a moment of reflection. Thank you. We turn to confirmation of the agenda, and please got a couple of things to.
Okay, thanks, Mayor Rigetts. So under item number 8.4.2, there was a change to the schedule under the deputy mayor's expenses. And under 8.8.1, there was a map that was added to the draft bylaw and agreement for the Perth South Fire agreement. And those will be updated on our website following the meeting.
Okay, so we have a motion that the following items be changed on the meeting agenda. Item 8.4.2, attached revised remuneration report. There was an error in the conference allocation for Deputy Mayor McDermott. Number 8.8.1, attached is a map of the Perth South Fire Area Protection Services provided Perth East to be attached to the bylaw, and that the following items be deleted from the meeting agenda, that the agenda as prepared for the March 3rd, 2026 meeting of council of the Township of Perth East be approved as received. Need a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Hugh, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Carried. Okay, under our consent agenda items, we have 9 items. Is there anything anyone would like have questions on, or they'd like pulled to have further clarification? Nope, seeing nothing. Then we do have a motion that items 5.1.1 to 5.1.9 as set out on the consent agenda for the March 3rd, 2026 regular meeting of council be received for information, and that the minutes of February 18, 2026 regular council meeting be adopted. Moved by Jerry, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, now we're going to move to presentations. We have one public presentation tonight. We have Donna Forster joining us from the Executive Director of Optimism Place, Stratford. Welcome, ladies, and the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jen Bowman. I am here today as a member of the Board of Directors with Optimism Place Women's Shelter and Support Services. I'm also a longtime resident of Perth East. I joined the Optimism Place Board because not only am I a survivor of intimate partner violence, in 2012, my sister-in-law, Nicole Wagler, was murdered by her intimate partner. As an advocate for women experiencing intimate partner violence, I am hopeful that the municipality of Perth East will take a stand today and declare intimate partner violence an epidemic. Donna Jean Forrester is the Executive Director of Optimism Place Women's Shelter and Support Services. She is also the lead of the Gender-Based Violence Priority Area of the Perth County Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. As such, she brings a level of expertise to this topic, and we invite her to share with you.
Thanks, Jen, for your support of Optimism Place and your advocacy for women, not just in Perth East, but across Perth County. Thank you for having us here today. I would like to start with expressing my appreciation to this council for your endorsement of the Community and Safety and Wellbeing Plan in recent months. Through this plan, gender-based violence, including intimate partner violence, has been selected as one of the 3 key priority areas to focus on over the next 10 years. So thank you for endorsing that plan. I am one of the priority area leads, and you can expect to continue to receive information and actions through your CAO. To date, 111 municipalities in Ontario have declared intimate partner violence an epidemic. It's our hope that Perth East will become the 112th. As you know, Perth County is home to 6 municipalities, and of those, West Perth declared in 2025, the City of Stratford in 2023. In January of this year, the municipality of North Perth declared IPV an epidemic and committed to education and training for council and staff. And just 2 weeks ago, the town of St. Mary's declared intimate partner violence an epidemic. And just this morning, the Council of Perth South declared intimate partner violence an epidemic, and it's our hope tonight that you will join the rest of Perth County in declaring intimate partner violence the epidemic that it is. In the 31 days of December, 5 Ontario women lost their lives because of their relationship with an intimate partner or family member. Every day, Perth County OPP and the Stratford Police receive 2 to 3 calls related to intimate partner violence. As you can see, intimate partner violence negatively impacts our community's sense of safety and well-being. It's quite simply not okay. You may recall in December of 2012, at just 17 years old, Nicole Wagler was killed by her intimate partner. This senseless death sent shockwaves through this community. Even a month ago, in a community speech, Stratford Mayor Martin Ritzma teared up as he recalled the day as principal of Northwestern Secondary School. He had to announce to the whole school body this brutal act of intimate partner violence occurred. While Nicole's murder was a very public experience of intimate partner violence, there are hundreds more women in Perth East alone who are currently experiencing intimate partner violence or who have experienced it in the past. 44% of women who have been in an intimate relationship have experienced some form of psychological, physical, or sexual abuse in their relationship. It happens here, and it's not okay. In 2024, there were 994 reports of intimate partner violence, which resulted in 227 charges laid. Every month, probation and parole supervise an average of 115 clients who are on probation as a result of domestic violence charges. At Optimism Place in 2024, there were 203 women and children living in shelter, and an additional 200 women accessing intimate partner violence related services, but who did not need the safety of the shelter. Since 2022, 50 women have been assessed at high risk of lethality from their intimate partner and have received wraparound safety supports from a collaborative group of community partners who've been able to immediately reduce their risk and ensure their safety. Every year at Optimism Place, we see about 10 to 15 women, along with their children, from Perth East who are accessing our shelter for a residential stay. In addition, we have about 15 to 25 women and their children who access our community-based services, such as counseling, support with family court, parenting, and other supports associated with experiencing intimate partner violence. Every single day, at least one person from Perth East calls our 24-hour support line for support for themselves or someone they know experiencing intimate partner violence. This declaration today serves as validation for anyone who has survived intimate partner violence or who is living with intimate partner violence right now. What has happened to them is happening to them is real, and it's wrong. A declaration of intimate partner violence as an epidemic is not just symbolic words on a page. There are actions to be taken that can make a difference. The first step is education. Know the signs of intimate partner violence and how to respond appropriately when someone's experiencing it. The next step is to seek support from experts in our community to help understand the issue and how our community is responding to it. And then raise awareness among your friends and family members by talking about it, sharing information, supporting activities. In your package of materials for this meeting was a list of ways that you can engage and learn, but I will highlight just one right now. On April 13th, right here at Milverton Public School, Stop VAW, which is our collaborative committee of frontline workers from a variety of organizations who are working together to end violence against women. This committee is hosting a community information session about intimate partner violence. It will feature dinner, so there's no reason not to come. There will be speakers and all of the community organizations will be present and can provide information and support right on the spot. If you can share information about this event, encourage people to come and attend the event yourself, you will learn and you'll be able to support the residents of Perth East who are experiencing intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence has been increasing in our community, and the negative impacts on residents of our community, and in particular women and children, has consequences that last for generations. So we encourage Perth East to declare IPV an epidemic and continue to work collaboratively together with our whole community to ensure the safety and well-being of all residents. I thank you for your attention tonight and for addressing this important issue.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions from council?
I was just wondering, you talk about the safety plan and stuff like that. Could you give a possible couple programs that you're running to for your goal?
Yeah, so the safety and well-being plan is a 10-year plan. It's endorsed by all the municipalities in Perth County. As part of that plan, we have a gender-based violence leadership table, a collaborative table. It's not a program, but we're working to address system level change across our whole community. Sorry. We have programs at Optimism Place in terms of providing safety for women who are experiencing intimate partner violence right now, as well as wraparound supports for women who are living in our community. But the community safety and well-being plan is a high-level systems change plan.
Okay, anyone else? If not, we do have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the presentation prepared by Donna Forrester, Executive Director of Optimism Place Stratford, dated March 3rd, 2026, entitled Intimate Partner Violence Epidemic for Information, and that the Council of Township of Perth East declares intimate partner violence as an epidemic in the Township of Perth East. Moved by Jerry, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you for coming. It's a very important topic. So
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you coming. Okay, now we're going to move to other presentations, and we have 2 drains tonight to talk about. And the first drain is the C drain of the Sheer Municipal Drain 2026. We have with us Chris Dietrich, and welcome, Chris.
Welcome, Mayor Agates and Council. Which one that is? So I'm here tonight to present 2 reports to Council for approval and to move forward to quarter revisions. The first drain is the C drain of the Shearer Municipal Drain. So basically, we were appointed by the township under Section 70 of the Drainage Act to prepare a report on this particular drain. It was originally constructed under a report prepared by James A. Howes, OLS, in February 25th of 1960. The existing drain consists of 4,123 feet of 10-inch to 14-inch diameter tile. We held an on-site meeting on September 23rd of 2025, and then a information meeting on January 15th of 2026. And what we're recommending within this report is to abandon the 1960 drain, install a new tile, approximately 1,300 meters long, of 400 to 600 millimeter diameter tile, and 3 catch basins. We've included this drain under 2 separate drainage coefficient standards. The first, recommended by a landowner, is a 50 millimeter of rainfall per 24-hour size drain from station 0. You'll see on the plan, which is up there now. The drain we're proposing is there in purple, from station 0 all the way up to station 828, which is the property line between the numbered Ontario Company and the Broxton Poultry property. Beyond that, it's going to be a 38 millimeter of rainfall per 24-hour event. And that's a very good standard of drainage as well. We've estimated this project to cost approximately $225,200. And it would be this time that I would answer any questions that council may have.
Okay, questions from members of council? Okay, no questions. I know there's some landowners in the audience. Is there any landowner who has a question about the report? Any clarifications? Seeing no one, we do have a motion then that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report from Dietrich Engineering Limited, C drain of the Sheer Municipal Drain, serving parts of lots 31 to 34, concession 1, and parts of lots 31 to 33, concession 2, for information. And further, that the quarter revision for the C drain of the Sheer Municipal Drain be held on April the 8th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved by Amanda, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and then your next report is on the Hawthorne Municipal.
Yes, so this report's prepared under a different section. Wait till that plan comes up again. So this is basically our plan that we have. And we're appointed by council under section 76, which is to prepare a new maintenance schedule. The Hawthorne drain was originally constructed under a report prepared by RW Code dated July 20th of 1942. There were improvements undertaken north of Perth Line 72 under a report prepared by E.W. Hayes Limited, dated November 9th, 1967. The Hawthorne drain, the main drain commences at Road 129, as you see on the plan, in Lot 10 of Concession 7, and outlets into the Smith Creek in Lot 9, Concession 6. The length of the drain is 2,800 meters. The drainage area inside that big, all the lines seem the same size, but inside the big blue line is the watershed area, and it is 624 hectares. There's two assessment schedules in our report. The first is for the preparation of this report, and the second is the maintenance schedule to be used in future maintenance opportunities. And at this time, I can answer any questions from council.
Okay, thank you. Questions from members of council? Jeremy?
So a lot of under the portion of report preparation cost, we have these small dollar figures, and a lot of them are right in the town of Newton. Do they just get a invoice in the mail from this, or how do they pay for that? Just out of curiosity.
When it's that small of a dollar, under $25, it goes onto the tax bill. So it'll be a new line item on the tax bill that they'll see just for the next installment, whether that's this year in the final assessment or the start of next year when the next tax bill is sent out.
Okay, any other questions from council? What about the landowners that are here? Is there any questions from any of the landowners that are affected by this drain? Nope. Okay. And we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report from Dietrich Engineering Limited, Hawthorne Municipal Drain, serving part of lots 9 to 12, concession 6, part of lots 9 to 13, concession 7, and part of lots 9 to 12, concession 8, in the Mornington Ward for information. And further that and further that the Court of Revision for the Hawthorne Municipal Drain 2026 be held on April the 8th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved by Amanda, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carries. Thanks,
Thank you very
Chris.
much.
Good to see you again.
You as well.
Okay, we're going to move to delegations. We have no delegations. We do have a public meeting though. So I declare this public meeting to be open. This public meeting is being held to consider a proposed zoning bylaw amendment affecting property currently owned by Paul S. and Ina Martin, concession 8, South Part Lot 12, 7194, Road 124. This meeting is an opportunity for the township to advise the public of the purpose and intent of the amendment and receive their input prior to considering adoption of an implementing bylaw. If a bylaw is adopted to implement the zoning amendment, a notice of passing will be forwarded by prepaid first-class mail to various agencies of interest and others who have requested notice. An appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal objecting to the adoption of the bylaw may be e-filed via the OLT e-file service no later than the date stated on the notice. Any person attending this meeting who wishes to receive written notice of a bylaw passed to implement the amendment is asked to give their name and mailing address to the clerk following this meeting. No written notice, except as previously noted, will be given unless requested in writing following the meeting. All persons attending this meeting will be given an opportunity to be heard or make a presentation. And now we'll call on our planner, Jeff Bannon, and is Aubrey coming too? Next one, okay, to present the plan report and recommendations. So welcome, Jeff. Good to see you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. So the property is located on the west side of Road 124 between line 73 and line 76. It's known as 7194 Road 124. The amendment is to the Perth East zoning bylaw to rezone the portion of the lands from an agricultural zone to an agricultural zone A-191, which would allow for an on-farm diversified use with the maximum gross floor area of 900 square meters. The site-specific zoning is intended to permit the expansion of the welding business on the farm property. Property is designated as agriculture and with a natural heritage features overlay. It's zoned as agricultural A and natural resources environment zone 2 and RE2. The Perth official plan allows for on-farm diversified uses that are supportive of agricultural or are able to coexist with agriculture. The on-farm diversified use has already been established on the lands, and the expansion of the welding business will continue to exist without negative impacts on the surrounding farming activities. That use is secondary to the existing dairy barn and agricultural farming on the lands, and the location of the proposed building addition is located within the existing farm cluster on land that is not being used for agricultural production. The area designated as Natural Heritage Overlay is located in the southwest corner of the subject lands and is not being impacted by proposed development. No comments or concerns have been received from the public or commenting agencies. The on-farm diversified use area may need to be expanded slightly to accommodate the required parking on the property. There appears to be adequate area within the farm cluster to accommodate any additional parking that may be needed, and the applicant will be required to meet the zoning bylaw requirements or obtain future planning approvals if need be through the detailed site plan design. The existing on-farm diversified use is approximately 357 square meters in size, and the proposed addition would double the current operation. The applicant is requesting a maximum building gross floor area of 900 square meters to allow for additional floor area and to support future business expansion without having to come back to obtain future planning approvals. Area of development will be subject to site plan control. The Perth East zoning bylaw allows for trade occupations as a secondary farm occupation, and the welding operation would not occupy a building that is required for farming operations, and no outdoor storage is being proposed. Planning staff have no concerns with the zoning bylaw amendment. The proposed amendment allows for the on-farm diversified use, which is compatible with the surrounding area. It's consistent with the provincial policy statement, conforms with the County of Perth official plan, and in our opinion, represents good planning. And available to answer any questions.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in opposition of the application? Seeing no one. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant or the applicant's agent? Seeing no one. Does the applicant or the applicant's agent wish to make a presentation or speak with respect to the application? Oh, they're online. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. The floor is
Yes. Hello, it's Solomon Martin. I'm the agent for this file. And I have nothing to add to Jeff's presentation.
okay. Thank you. Are there any questions from members of council? Jeremy?
So I think the biggest impact for neighbors might be additional traffic up from line 72. I presume that's where they'd be coming from. Do you have an idea of how many, are we talking about highway tractors that are coming down there with steel and raw product that's being cut and welded? And I'm curious how much additional traffic that ends up being for the few neighbors along 124.
Well, there is already a plasma cutter there, so there probably won't be too much extra traffic than from what is there right now.
Like doubling the size of the business, are we doubling the amount of traffic, or are we just, having
No.
a larger load on a truck?
So the new proposal is for a tube laser for cutting tubing for his existing business. So the trucks are already coming. There won't be too many more than what is currently, I don't think.
Okay. Okay, all right. Anyone else? Questions? If not, council will consider a resolution regarding the planning report recommendation following the conclusion of the public meeting. Bylaw 209-2025 to implement the approval of the zoning application will be considered later within the council agenda. Public meeting is now concluded and we will continue with the regular meeting of council. So we do have a motion, and the motion reads that the Township of Perth East Council received a report dated March 3rd, 2026 for zoning bylaw amendment Z09-2025 submitted on behalf of Paul and Ina Martin, affecting the lands described as Part Lot 12 in Session 8, Mornington Warren, Township of Perth East, municipally known as 7194 Road 124, for information, and it held a statutory public meeting pursuant to Section 34 of the Planning Act with respect to zoning bylaw amendment Z09-2025, and that council approved zoning bylaw amendment Z09-2025. Moved by Bob, second by Jeremy. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move to our public hearing. So council will now temporarily adjourn to sit as Committee of Adjustment pursuant to Section 45 of the Planning Act. I now declare this public hearing open. This public hearing is being held to consider an application affecting property currently owned by Claremont Holsteins Limited, care Glenn Krantz, and described as Concession 3, West Part Lot 33, Southeast Hope Ward, 2713 Perth Line 33. The purpose of this hearing is to give the committee and the public an opportunity to hear all interested persons with respect to the proposed application and receive their input, and for the committee to make a decision on the application. All persons attending the hearing will be given an opportunity to be heard or make a presentation. Committee members may ask questions for the purposes of clarifying the application, but are asked to withhold comments on this application until all present have been given an opportunity to be heard. Any person who wishes to receive written notice of the decision made by the Committee of Adjustment is asked to email their name and mailing address to the Secretary Treasurer at this time. An appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal objecting to the decision made at this hearing may be e-filed via the OLT e-file service by the applicant, the municipality, the minister, or prescribed utility providers with the Secretary Treasurer no later than the date stated on the notice. No written notice except as previously noted will be given unless requested at this time. I now will call on our planner Aubrey to present the planning report and recommendations. So welcome, Audrey. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Agates. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The minor variance application MV1 2026 was submitted by Timothy Krantz on behalf of Claremont Holsteins Limited for the property at 2713 Perth Line 33. The applicant requires relief from the Perth East zoning bylaw to construct a new dairy barn and covered liquid manure pit. Currently, there is an existing dairy barn, open solid manure storage, and accessory structures used for the operation. Under the official plan, the subject lands are designated as agriculture with a natural heritage feature overlay. The agriculture designation intends to protect lands for long-term agricultural uses and promote the continued viability, importance, and diversification of agricultural activities. To avoid land use conflicts, minimum distance separation requirements apply to all new and expanding livestock facilities. The official plan must align with the provincial standards and guidelines outlined in the minimum distance separation document. A variance to the minimum distance separation 2 setback may be approved for expanding livestock facilities, provided that the variance is minor in nature, without adverse impacts, and the proposal mitigates environmental impacts associated with the farming operation. The subject lands are zoned agriculture in the Township Perth East zoning bylaw, which permits farm uses and buildings and structures accessory to agriculture. The intent of the agricultural zoning provisions is to limit non-agricultural development and to ensure farmland preservation. Under the zoning bylaw, livestock facilities and manure storage structures shall comply with the minimum distance separation 2 setback. The intent is to ensure greater compatibility between agricultural and sensitive land uses in rural areas. The MDS guidelines state that setback requirements should not be reduced except in limited site-specific circumstances that meet the intent of the MDS document. This includes the mitigation of environmental or public health and safety impacts and the avoidance of natural or human-made hazards. This agricultural expansion, as proposed, meets the intent of the MDS guidelines. The proposed MDS 2 setback reduction is minor and seeks to facilitate the expansion of an existing agricultural operation in an area that supports agricultural practices. The existing lot is narrow, and situating the barn and pit outside of the MDS2 setback distances would require crossing a municipal drain and the new structures to be located well outside the farm cluster, resulting in a greater loss of agricultural lands and operational challenges. The proposed siting of the new barn and pit are within close proximity of the existing farm cluster and meet all other setbacks required while taking the least amount of agricultural lands out of production. Further, the proposed location of the new barn and pit provide the best mitigation to the potential risk of surface water contamination going beyond the required setback to the agricultural drain located on the property. The application for minor variance conforms with the official plan policies and maintains the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. The variance requested is minor in nature and is desirable use of the land. As a result, approval of the variance is recommended. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in opposition of the application? Seeing no one, is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant or the applicant's agent? Seeing no one, does the applicant or the applicant agent wish to wish to make a presentation or speak with respect to the application? No. Okay. Questions from committee members? No questions. The committee will now consider a motion regarding the application. So the motion is the Township of Perth East Committee of Adjustment approve application file MV1-2026 submitted for Claremont Holsteins Limited for lands described as West Part Lot 33, Concession 3, Southeast Hope Ward, Township of Perth East, municipally known as 2713 Perth Line 33, as it relates to number 1, relief from section 6.4 to reduce the required minimum distance separation to setback to the residential dwelling at 2679 Perth Line 33 from 248 meters to 221 meters to facilitate the construction of a 3,173 meter square dairy barn. Number 2, relief from section 6.5.3 to reduce the required minimum distance separation to setback to the residential dwelling at 2731 Perth Line 33 from 248 meters to 217 meters to facilitate the construction of a 3,490 liter covered liquid manure storage pit, subject to the following conditions. And the condition is that the owner obtain the necessary building permit within 2 years of the approval of the minor variance. Moved by Jerry, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. I declare this public hearing closed. Thanks, Aubrey. Okay, and we're going to move on now to reports. There's nothing from planning, nothing from the CAO, nothing from the clerk. Under finance, the first item is the Quinlan Park Reserve review. Paula, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Agates. Before council tonight is the Quinlan Park Reserve Review Report as a result of the mayoral directive 2025-004. This directive requested staff to investigate the disbursement of $60,000 principal from the Quinlan Park Reserve to the 3 Ellis Athletic Associations. In 1980, the will of John Quinlan gifted a share of his estate to the treasurer of Ellis Township for its park purposes. The township at the time split this into 2 equal parts, one being for the Quinlan Park Rostock Hall, and the other being for the the Ellis Athletic Associations, which at the time is 3. In 2018, the township declared the Rostock Hall surplus and it was sold. So as a result of this, the Rostock Hall is no longer a part of the Quinlan Park Reserve. Over the years, there's been a few different methods for allocating the annual interest to the 3 Ellis Athletic Associations. Currently, the interest on this portion of the Quinlan Park Reserve is dispersed equally to the 3 Ellis Athletic Associations. This interest allocation has averaged approximately $700 annually over the last 7 years. On February 3rd, 2026, a meeting was held by staff with representatives from the 3 Ellis Athletic Associations to discuss these possible changes to the Quinlan Park Reserve. The 3 representatives from the athletic associations were in agreement for the equal disbursement of the $60,000 principal and the discontinuing of the annual interest payment allocations. The 2025 interest allocations have been paid to the 3 Ellis Athletic Associations. And with council's approval tonight, the equal disbursement of the $60,000 principal to the 3 Ellis Athletic Associations would be completed in the first quarter of 2026. And no further interest allocations will be dispersed to the 3 Ellis Athletic Associations going forward. This concludes my report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. Questions of the report? You?
This was checked by the lawyer to make sure that we can distribute those funds, right?
There was a lawyer opinion, I want to say, I don't know what year, but it was reviewed by legal.
No, we just want to make sure
Yeah.
that being as it's a will and it's a gift and stuff like that, things can get always kind of fuzzy. So
Yep,
Just
yeah.
wanted to double check. to make
Yep,
sure. Okay,
yep.
thanks.
Okay, Jerry?
Thanks through you, Mayor. So just, we have background documentation from these associations. I'm fully in favor of this. I know sometimes we need minutes, motions. Do we just have the word of these 3 people? I just want to make sure we're covered 5, 10, 20 years down the road that the next executive comes on board and says, oh, we didn't agree to this, this person did. But we have perfect record.
Yeah, currently I just have the records, the minutes of the meeting that I held on February 3rd, that they were in agreement for that.
So do you want them to sign something, Jerry, for receiving the funds? Was that?
So, just, I've been involved in a few different associations, and whenever we make changes that become a legal form, we always need to supply the date of the meeting that the association agreed to it, the minutes, we made the motion. I guess I'm okay with it, with the way it is, if the township is okay with it.
Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, then we do have a motion that the council of the Township of Perth East receive the report entitled Quinlan Park Reserve Review, FIN-2026-05, prepared by the Manager of Financial Services / Treasurer and a Manager of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services dated March 3, 2026 for information, and that the $60,000 of the Quinlan Reserve be distributed equally to the Kinkora Athletic Association, the Sebronville Athletic Association, and the Rostock Athletic Association in the first quarter of 2026, and that the annual interest allocation from these funds be discontinued as of December 31st, 2025. Moved by Amanda, second by Jerry. Any more questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the next report is the council remuneration and expense report for 2025. Paula?
Thank you, Mayor Riggets. Finance's final report this evening is the 2025 council remuneration and expense report. And I just want to note that there was an error in the initial report that was included in the council package, as the deputy mayor was unable to attend the AMO conference. But the hotel and registration had already been processed and allocated in the journal entry or the GL accounts. So that was erroneously included under his conference expenses column. The CAO attended the AMO conference in his place, so those expenses have now been reclassified to the CAO expense lines. This reduces the deputy mayor's conference expenses from $1,833.51 down to $55.40. The updated schedule has been circulated to council prior to the meeting, is up on the screen, and will be updated on the website after this meeting. The mayor nor any of the councilors have exceeded their annual allotments for the conferences and trainings in 2025. And this concludes my report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, thanks, Paula. Any questions? No, okay, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Manager of Financial Services / Treasurer dated March 3rd, 2026, entitled Annual Council Remuneration and Expense Report for Information. Mover and a seconder, moved by Amanda, second by Bob. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Paula. Now we'll move to Public Works, and the first one is Household Hazardous Waste Agreement. Jake?
Thanks, Mary. First report tonight covers a renewal for the Household Hazardous Waste Program with the City of Stratford. Doesn't feel like that long ago, but back in 2024, March of 24, Council endorsed a 2-year extension of that agreement, but it expires May 15th of this year. By all accounts, the program's gone quite well. We've received positive feedback. And again, just to highlight for council's awareness, Perth East did do an in-house program back in 2013. It was a single-day deal. I mean, it was just under $15,000 for that single day. The most recent 2 years has cost the township an average of $16,000, but the program does hold 3 and 4 dates annually, so there's some flexibility there for residents. I feel like this takes advantage of economies of scale, which is why staff are recommending council enter into an agreement, with this one being a period of 4 years. If there's any questions, I'll try and answer those.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Questions of the report? Gary?
Yeah, through the mayor. Have the dates been set or I missed them somewhere? Not that it.
Through you, Mayor, I looked today. They are up on the Stratford website. Yes.
Hey, Bob?
Just out of curiosity, Jake, is there any data from the collection that, or maybe they don't separate it, but there was, could you, another time maybe share that just so that so what's being collected and that we continue to pump out communication. At the fire department, it's more about prevention. So if we can do this, you know, run some two-part, I guess, but
Yeah, through the mayor, there was not a lot of detail we get in terms of the volumes collected, but my understanding is we pay based on what is brought to those events. We have included this in our spring community guide, but we can certainly try to do some more in terms of advertising these events. Now that we actually know the dates, that helps. That is one of the things that's kind of held us back. We don't know the dates, so it's hard to advertise those. But my other comment, I guess, would be that in theory, none of this waste is supposed to be entering our landfill. But I think everybody knows there is that possibility. If residents are made aware and educated on these events, they should be more well attended. So hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, other questions? Being none, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Manager of Public Works dated March 3rd, 2026, entitled Household Hazardous Waste Agreement Renewal, PUB-2026-07 for information, and further that Council give 3 readings to Bylaw 08-2026, being a bylaw to enter into a household hazardous waste agreement with the City of Stratford to permit Perth East residents access to the household hazardous waste disposal program. We need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next report is the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program. Jake?
Hey, thanks again, Mayor. The second one tonight, some positive news. Staff submitted an application for the replacement of well 4, in addition to some reservoir rehab here in Milverton under the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, the Health and Safety Water Stream, which ultimately we were successful with. The project, as I mentioned, includes the construction of this new well, the necessary piping and electrical connections and system programming required for the integration of the well into our system. And also included, we do have in the project scope some repairs of degrading seals, some repairs to internal concrete spalling, and also replacement of select process piping. The township is eligible to be funded by the province up to a maximum of $675,250, being 73% of the total project cost, while the township will be required to fund just under $250,000, so making a total project cost of $925,000. The purpose of this report tonight is to request council that they authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into a transfer payment agreement with the province, such as staff can move forward with the funding and initiate the project. Are there any questions on this one? I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Oh, Jeremy?
I don't have a question on this, but it was just a strange occurrence that happened to me before I came to the meeting tonight. I received a call from a data company, a survey company, asking me about the water quality in my municipality. They said they had 4 questions for me, and my first question back to them was, you know, who commissioned this study? Why are you calling me about this? And so if anyone gets a call, it would be you, I suppose, Jerry. Anyways, asking if my water had a smell or a taste to it. And then they're asking me how many people, they had 4 questions, very simple questions, but the main one was about the smell and the taste of the water, and about number of people in my household and if I was retired or not. And she probably regretted contacting me because I had more questions for her about why she was reaching out. But because I wasn't aware of any study we'd be asking to be done. But if we have those questions, I asked them who commissioned the study, and they said the business was called Data to Data Services. And I Googled them after I got off the phone. Again, a data collection agency asking about municipal water systems. So just funny that I just read this report like 2 hours earlier, and then I get this call about the water in our area, if it had a smell or a funny taste to it. Don't know where that information was going, but I probably asked her more questions than she asked me, and she was probably regretting it. Sorry.
Yeah, through the mayor, that's certainly no connection to the township as far as I'm aware. I can't speak to where that would have come from. I have heard from others in the past similar. This is going back a year or so now, but since then it's been quite quiet. So I don't have a lot to offer on that, but it is not related to staff in here.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I don't think I'd have answered the question, but anyway. Okay, we do have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Manager of Public Works dated March 3rd, 2026, entitled Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, MHIP, Health and Safety Water Stream, HSWS, and Transfer Payment Agreement, PUB-2026-08 for information. And further, that council give 3 readings to bylaw 09-2026, authorizing the mayor and the clerk to enter into a transfer payment agreement with the Ministry of Infrastructure. Moved by Amanda, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the third report is tender results, repairs to structure 9 on Road 111. Jake?
Thanks again, Mayor. Last one here tonight, is tender results for structure 9. It is a concrete bridge structure just north of Perth Line 26. As identified in May of 2022 as part of the township's annual OSIM inspections, within 1 to 5 years of that date, they had recommended we make repairs to the curbing, bridge deck, drains, and replacement of the railings, which is the scope of the work laid out in the contract here. There was significant interest in this tender. We had 37 registered plan takers with a total of 9 formal submissions. The low bid by Vandenberg Construction was notably less than the second. However, there is no concern with Vandenberg. We had a conversation with BM Ross. They've worked with them several times and have highlighted their extensive knowledge on carrying out such work. Given the tender costs, it's anticipated this project will be completed well within budget. The allocation was $515,000. So that said, staff are recommending to award to Vandenberg. Are there any questions on that? I'll do my best to answer.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Any questions? Jerry?
Yeah, through you, Mayor, I assume that 515 was coming out of reserves in our budget for the project. So I'm assuming then it just would save the less than 200,000. The project.
Through the mayor, I might point to Paula for this one. I'm not entirely sure which reserve this was fully funded from. It might have been a combination of reserves in this case. We may have to get back to you with that response.
It was funded from reserve. Right now, I can't remember which one. If we used, let's see, the Canada Building Fund, or I'm thinking it's that. But if we don't utilize the full amount that we've budgeted to pull from that, it just stays in the reserve.
That's fine, thank you. As long as
Okay, any other questions? If not, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Manager of Public Works dated March 3rd, 2026, entitled Tender Results BR 1629, Repairs to Structure 9 on Road 111, PUB-2026-09 for information, and further that Council award the tender, contract number BR 1629, to complete repairs as specified of Structure 9 to Vandenberg Construction, Inc., for the tendered price of $302,906.30, exclusive of HST. Mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Hugh, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Jake. Okay, we're going to move on. We have no report from building, no report from Parks, Recreation, Community Services, and Fire. The first item on is the Perth South Fire Service Agreement. Bill?
Great, thanks, Mayor and Council. Tonight's the first report from the fire department is on a proposed update to the fire services agreement between the Township of Perth East and the Township of Perth South. This review originated from a direction provided by the Perth East Fire Department Joint Advisory Committee back in August of last year, requesting that staff examine whether sufficient operational and capital information was being shared with Perth South Council. Staff reviewed the agreement and found that most provisions remain effective and do not require amendment, including our meeting scheduling and existing requirements for sharing minutes and financial statements. We are looking at some internal improvements being implemented to ensure that those processes occur consistently. 2 targeted additions are proposed to enhance communication and transparency. First, the monthly fire department activity reports would be shared with both municipalities simultaneously. And secondly, the fire chief would attend a minimum of 2 Perth South council meetings annually or as requested to provide operational updates directly to council. These changes were supported by the Joint Advisory Committee and no other amendments were made to the agreement. The intent was simply to strengthen information sharing and maintain clear communication between the 2 municipalities. This morning, I appeared before Perth South Council with this presentation. Council discussed the amendments and ended up deferring a decision as they would like the calculation for the Perth South costs included with the agreement. That motion from Perth South was sent to Clerk Carter this afternoon. actually can share that with you, and I'm certainly available to answer any questions on my report.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so through you, Mayor, the resolution that I received from the Township of Perth South stated that Perth South Council defers signing the Perth East Fire Agreement until the financial calculation formula is included in the agreement to be done by April 7th, 2026.
Okay, questions of the report? You?
Not necessarily a question, then we're not going to pass this to anything.
Probably not. We'll probably defer it as well, so that we will do it together, right? No, they just want the formula in the agreement so that they can see it. I think it's more for future, isn't it, Bill? Or maybe Bill could tell you more.
The existing agreement, the language on how the per South levy is calculated is in the agreement, but the formula per se isn't. So they would like to see the actual formula in addition to the wording. But absolutely no changes to the calculation at all.
Okay, anyone else? Excuse me. So we do have a motion. We'll do this one first, see where it goes. Council of the Township of Perth East received the Perth South Fire Service Agreement amended, FIR-202605 report prepared by the Manager of Fire Services / Fire Chief and dated March 3rd, 2026 for information, and that council defers the Perth South Fire Service Agreement for revisions and direct staff to return the agreement to the next regular council meeting on March 17, 2026. Okay, so that's a motion to defer this report. Moved by Hugh, second by Amanda. Questions? In favor? Carried. Okay, our next report is the Fire Department 2025 Annual Review, and we have Jess with us tonight. So Jess, welcome. Good to see you. You've waited patiently. So your turn.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having me. Thanks for the opportunity to be here again to present the 2025 Year in Review Report. Every year, I look forward to putting this report together to showcase our department's activities, work, and accomplishments over the past year in support of community safety. We can often get lost in our daily routines that we lose sight of just how much we have accomplished and the impact we've made in our community. The report highlights our emergency response statistics, training and professional development, fire prevention and inspection efforts, and our public education initiatives. Being involved in all of these areas within our department provides me with a unique perspective and allows me to reflect on the department's continued commitment to service excellence, regulatory compliance, and operational readiness. Collectively, these efforts demonstrate the dedication of our members, the value delivered to the township, and the department's ongoing focus on protecting life, property, and the well-being of the communities we serve. Everyone has been provided with a hard copy, and I hope looking through it, it brings you as much joy and pride in our department as I have in creating it. And I thank you for your time tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Questions of the report? No questions? I just want to say it's a great report. Really good. Very
Thank
well
you.
done. Thank
Appreciate
you for
that,
all your
Mayor.
time. Okay, we do have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive a report entitled Fire Department 2025 Annual Review FIR-2026-06 dated March 3rd, 2026, prepared by the Manager of Fire Services / Fire Chief for information. Moved by Jerry, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and our next report is the Emergency Management Bylaw Update, and we have Shay with us tonight too. She waited patiently, so
Thank
nice
you,
to
Mayor.
see you.
This report is being brought forward to Council to provide an update to the Township of Perth East Emergency Management Bylaw to ensure compliance with the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act and alignment with the Township's Emergency Management Plan. During the Township's annual tabletop exercise, staff identified that the current Emergency Management Bylaw no longer accurately reflected the Township's emergency structure and roles. As a result, revisions were required to ensure clarity, compliance, and alignment with the township's emergency management plan. Key changes include updating the fire prevention officer as the alternate community emergency management coordinator, streamlining the emergency management program committee to focus on governance and policy oversight, expanding the municipal emergency control group to reflect operational roles identified in the plan, and updating the emergency information officer designation. I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you. Questions of the report? No questions. We have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Fire Prevention Officer, alternate CEMC, dated March 3rd, 2026, entitled Emergency Management Bylaw Update, FPO-2026-01 for information, and further that Council give 3 readings to Bylaw 11-2026 and repeal Bylaw 57-2023, and further that a copy of the revised bylaw be sent to the Perth County Community Emergency Management Coordinator. The mover and the seconder for that, moved by Bob, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Shay.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thanks.
Okay, we're moving on to correspondence. We have no correspondence. You didn't get the mayor's meeting log. I have technical difficulties getting it here, so it'll come next time. Are there any council reports of any of the committees anyone sits on? They want to give a report on? Nope. Okay. Then we are to bylaws. And we have some changes here. So first and second reading, we have the first one is bylaw 08-2026, a bylaw to authorize the signing of an agreement between the corporation and the city of Stratford, the corporation of the township of Perth East, and to provide for a municipal household hazardous disposal agreement. The second one is 09-2026, a bylaw to authorize entering into agreement with His Majesty the King and the Right of Ontario as represented by the Ministry of Infrastructure. The third one is 11-2026, a bylaw to adopt an emergency management response plan and to meet other requirements under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act and to repeal bylaw 57-2023. The fourth one, bylaw 102-2026, a bylaw being a provisional bylaw for the sea drain of the Sheer Municipal Drain. The next one, bylaw 103-2026, being a provisional bylaw for the Hawthorne Municipal Drain. And the last one, bylaw 209-2025, being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 30-1999, and that these bylaws listed above be read a first and second time. Need a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Hughes, second by Jerry. All in favor? Carried. And then third and final readings, we have bylaw 08-2026, a bylaw to authorize the signing of an agreement between the corporation of the city of Stratford and the corporation of the township of Perth East to provide for a municipal household hazardous disposal agreement. The second one, 09-2026, a bylaw to authorize entering into an agreement with His Majesty the King and the Right of Ontario as represented by the Ministry of Infrastructure. The third one, 11-2026, a bylaw to adopt an emergency management response plan and to meet other requirements under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act and to repeal bylaw 57-2023. And the last one, bylaw 209-2025, being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 30-1999, and that these bylaws listed above be read a third and final time. Need a mover and a seconder for all that. Moved by Bob, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, then we're moving to any notice of motions. Any other business? Announcements? Nope. Okay, we do have a need for a closed session. So we have a motion to go into closed. And it reads that the regular meeting of council of the Township of Perth East be temporarily adjourned at 8:04 p.m. to permit the holding of a meeting in closed session for the purpose of a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board pertaining to a township road, and litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administration tribunals affecting a municipality or local board pertaining to a township road. Moved by Jerry, second by Hugh, all in favor? Carried. Okay, we're going to take a short break before we Okay, so we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East rise from closed session and reconvene to regular session at 8:17 p.m. Moved by Amanda, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Carried. We have a motion that the closed meeting was held and only the closed session items identified were discussed in closed session. Moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. That's it. Then we have that the minutes of February 18, 2026 closed session meeting be approved. Moved by Amanda, second by Jerry. All in favor? Carried. And we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the manager of Legislative Services / municipal clerk dated March 3rd, 2026, entitled Road 145 Purchase of Land, CLE-2026-06 for information, and further that council give 3 readings to bylaw 12-2026, being a bylaw to authorize the purchase of part of lot 30 concession 6, part of pin number 53173-0046, and part of lot 31 concession 5, which is part of pin 53173-0048. Moved by Amanda, second by Bob. All in favor? Carried. And we have a motion that bylaw 13-2026, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the Township of Perth East at its regular meeting held on March 3rd, 2026, be read a first, second, and third time. Moved by Hughes, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. And the last motion of the night is the meeting be adjourned at 8:19 p.m. Moved by Amanda, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Bye.